Hey, everybody! Hi!
Remember the basics of CQC.
The basics of CQC. Hey, guys, this is Wu-Tang and Tony here. Say hi, Tony.
Hello.
Welcome to the Metal Gear Recollection. We are going to play through every single Metal Gear Solid game, every single Metal Gear game that is canon from chronologically from the very beginning, which is Metal Gear Solid 3 here, all the way through to the end of the series. Now, we just had a fucking problem with audio video recording stuff, and so we already got 15 minutes into this talk, but basically Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain has come out. Konami has pretty much hate murdered Kojima to death at this point and buried his body underneath their corporate headquarters.
They've quartered him.
Yes, so there are going to be no more Metal Gear games at this point. So Metal Gear is complete. Metal Gear is totally complete at this point. So I think now is the perfect opportunity to play through every single game, play through the entire canon, talk about the lore, talk about cool bits about it, talk about themes, etc., and just really kind of build a big fat celebration of this series that has been a big part of my life since, shit, 1990, 1997, and 98.
Jesus Christ, you're old.
I am old. I just turned 29 last month. I'm almost at 30. I'm almost at the point where I start having to wear Depends underwear. But that's not what we're here for.
Damn.
We're here for Metal Gear. Everything's super important. This is the beginning of the series right here. And all of these characters are going to be very important to the lore in the future. I won't explain how because I would like to avoid
spoilers.
I would like to avoid talking about the things that hasn't happened on the video yet. Even though this game came out pretty much in the middle of all the Metal Gear games, maybe closer towards the end. Since this is the first game, it's going to kind of ruin a lot of twists that would otherwise be twists in later games, where you would play the game, like let's say a game that happened in 2000 came out before this one, right? And that game had questions that didn't get answered in that game, and this game might answer those questions. So it's going to be kind of weird, but I kind of only want to talk about what's happening so far in the story as we're doing it. Now, I completely forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, off to an awesome friggin' start.
So we're only talking about Metal Gear Solid 3.
At this point in time, yes.
Okay.
So I was going to get to this when we figured out that the recording decided to stop in the previous one. So here's what I want to do, because I know you've only played 2 of the games, which I also discovered in the last recording. They got fucking ruined. Goddamn technology. If you had to sum up the Metal Gear series in one word, if you had one word to describe what the series was, what would you describe it as?
Ready? After this?
Yes.
Nanomachines.
Okay, that's kind of vague. If somebody asked why should I watch this and you said nanomachines, that might not sell this on them. My word would be anime.
Animu.
Yes.
Wow, really?
Because if you think about this game and the things that happen in it, it tries to be grounded in reality. However, the ridiculousness of some of the scenarios and some of the characters and some of the things that happen pretty much says, okay, this is a goddamn anime. This is an anime that's kind of attempted to be set in the real world, and I don't mean like other things where it's like we're in the real world and then a meteor hit Tokyo, so fucking elves. Which
fucking elves?
Yeah, which isn't that's like the premise of half the anime that comes out nowadays. But this is more of like a Ghost in the Shell that takes place over the course of 50 years. Except that Snake
Or
never.
like
Except
Ergo
that.
Proxy.
Yeah. Yeah. Ergo Proxy. Yeah. You know what? That's kind of apt. That's
Gotcha.
not too bad. Let's see. So yeah, this is going to be a super long series. We're gonna go through every game, like I said, and we're gonna go through the order in which they are canon, which I think Mr. Tony here would like to fill you all in on. So, would you like to fill us in on the chronological canon of the Metal Gear games, sir?
Yes.
Sir.
Yes. Yes. I got it. I got it.
I'm gonna get
So,
you.
we start off with this game. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater for the PS2 in 2004, which takes place in the 1960s. There are rumors that the next game is not technically canon, but there are some things in it that are canon, and that is Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops for the PSP in 2006.
And I can elaborate on that. There are certain story elements to the game that's canon, but if I remember correctly from interviews, Kojima has pretty much said, yeah, that game is not. No, it's not.
And then there is Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker for the PSP in 2010. And after that, we have a Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zero.
Amazing little add-on campaign.
For the PS4 in 2014. Then we have the newest one, the Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain for the PS4 in 2015.
You will actually love it.
Will I?
Oh, yeah.
Will I?
Oh, yeah. It has its problems, but the amount of flavor that it adds to the overall lore of the game, especially being the last game and explaining some of the largest plot points in the entire series, even though the game is unfinished and it has some weird pacing and really weird pacing problems mostly.
It's just a really weird, like, beginning story. Like, if you jump in on MGS5, not playing any of the other games, you'll be like, what is going on?
Oh, but I can't wait to get it. It's such a cool goddamn game. Anyways, please continue. I keep interrupting you with my giant balls.
Yeah, giant balls. Anyways, Metal Gear Solid 5 takes place in the 1980s, 1984. Then there is Metal Gear. That's right, just Metal Gear for the MX2 in 1987.
You mean the MSX?
MSX, sorry. MSX2.
It's okay.
Which takes place in 1995.
Yep. And I'm gonna sorry to interrupt you again because I continue to do that. But that game is the first stealth game, and in the previous Metal Gear Let's Play that we did, which we'll talk about why we're doing this one again, even though we've already done this game after this, but in that game was originally supposed to be designed. Konami was like, oh, we're fucking pachinko machines, and we want an action game. We want like a fucking Schwarzenegger Last Action Hero. Fucking do it, Kojima, or we'll chop off your balls, which I have a feeling is how they treated Kojima his entire career. However, right?
Yeah.
But the system that they had it on, the MSX console computer, was a piece of shit, and they couldn't get more than 5 guys on screen. So he had to redesign the game from the ground up, and it became this really cool, really involved, really big for the time stealth game. So it is probably, somebody in the comments, if anybody watches these fucking videos, is going to yell at me and call me a fucking idiot and tell me I'm wrong. But I believe that it is the originator of the stealth action genre. Okay, I'll shut up.
That game takes place in 1995 when it was published in 1987. Then there is Metal Gear 2. It's Metal Gear 2, not Metal Gear Solid, just Metal Gear 2. Solid Snake for the MSX2 in 1990.
His snake is solid.
Yeah, it takes place in the It takes place right before Y2K.
Yep.
Remember that shit?
Oh yeah.
1999.
Oh yeah.
And afterwards, there is Metal Gear Solid for the PSX or PS1. Published in 1998. Story takes place in 2005.
Yep. Fantastic game. It recently came to my attention that you've never played it. You're gonna love the damn thing.
Yep. And then afterwards, there is Metal Gear Solid 2, published. Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty for the PS2 in 2001. Takes place 2007, which is weird. Wonder how much of that shit they got right.
It's gonna blow your fucking mind. He released it in 2001, and it's not really spoilery, but he makes some predictions about the internet that you look back and you're like, Kojima, how the fuck did you know this was gonna happen?
Nanomachines.
Dude, it's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna be like, wait, what? Wait, this is 2001? Are you fucking what?
I'm gonna have to look back at 2001.
It's gonna blow your mind, dude.
All right. Then afterwards, there comes the one game that I actually 100%ed, even the hardest difficulty being the European Extreme.
Very nice.
Not being spotted, doing it under 5 hours.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, you get that like special badge thingy.
Nice. What game is that?
Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns and Patriots.
And
PS3.
that. Go ahead.
It's for the PS3 in 2008.
Yep. And that is technically the end of the Metal Gear Solid series, because that is the end of Big Boss's story, or Snake in this case, which is our main character.
Snake.
Snake. Yes, that's right. However, there is one more game that comes after it that we will also be playing, because it's so fucking awesome, and Kojima did say it's canon. And what game is that?
Well, before I say that, MGS4 takes place in 2014.
Nice.
And the game that you're all up on its nuts about...
It's so good, dude.
Metal Gear Rising. That's right, Metal Gear Rising. Revengeance for the PS3, released in 2012. The story takes place in 2018.
Rules of Nature! It's so good. It's so goddamn good.
I like how he there was like the rise of PMCs and his carbon fiber sword. That's all I remember about that stupid game.
It's you, like, you talk shit, but when you see the actual game, you're gonna be like, that is so goddamn cool. It is so goddamn cool. It is so goddamn cool.
I believe you.
Okay, so we mentioned earlier that we've already done an LP of this game. We've already played through the entire game before. So why are we doing it again? And the answer is because that LP was not great, and most of it was my fault because I was being an absolute tool ass pretty much the entirety of it. Tony here was playing the game on hard, and pretty much all I ever did was tell him about how his play style was giving me cancer. So I kind of owe you an apology. And that we played through the whole game, obviously, and we got the story and everything like that. But fuck, where was I going with this? We played through all that, but it was a lot more fucky aroundy.
It was cringy.
I guess was more. I mean, like, we had a lot of problems getting through it, and there were some parts where it took us an entire hour and a half to beat like one boss, and that happened 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, because I hadn't played the game in so long, and you decided to put me on hard.
Yeah, you decided that. You decided that. I watched it. You decided it. I said you should play it on normal. You said, "Fuck it, I'm playing it on hard."
Fuck it.
But
Jesus.
But yeah, so we've played through it before, and we didn't really focus. Pretty much our entire line that time was, Tony, I hate you. You give me cancer. And look at how stupid this dumb bullshit is. So this time I would like to. This time is gonna be like a tight. I think it's gonna be like a tight 17 episodes as opposed to the 30 it took us to complete it the last time.
Toy.
Yeah.
Fear.
Where was I going?
That's all I remember.
Yeah, I think this is going to be like a tight 17 episodes, and we're going to try and focus on the lore a lot more, which we're missing a lot of it right now, but I'll explain it once I get to the first 7 seconds of gameplay. No, I'm not kidding.
No, he's not kidding.
But we'll kind of go over a little bit of the background because they give you a great brief. But I think we can elaborate on it a little bit.
Indeed.
Because like I said before, this game is about this guy, this snake character.
Snake.
Yes, and his impact on the world. But the game series as a whole is a lot more about how technology and military technology specifically shapes the world we live in. And with this game,
kind of true.
It does, and with this game as the base, it kind of gives you this kind of alternate world doomsday kind of nightmarish scenario once you get further on into the game, where one small group of individuals has so much power that it causes basically an upsetting to the world balance of power. And you're not going to get too much of that in this game. However, it goes into the origins of all of it, and pretty much the origins of everything that happens in this universe starts with World War II. Starts in the beginning of World War II. That's where, if you were to say there was a timeline split from regular world to time split.
Metal Gear world?
Yeah, time split from regular world to this goofy ass anime world where pretty much anything can happen. That's where it is. And I won't go into spoilers now, but I will explain it later once some more of the elements get introduced in the game. But pretty much everything starts in World War II, which kind of parallels our own world, where we had the Cold War begin at the end of World War II, and the majority of the Cold War was because of these two massive powers that pretty much met in the middle in Berlin, Germany. And then they had basically a giant 40 to 50 year pissing competition.
Wait, are we talking real world or Metal Gear world?
Both, but more real world. And so a lot of what happens in this game parallels what happens in the real world. But come on, there we go. Yay, we grabbed our shit. So
it's the whole Cold War shit.
Yep. So here we are in the Cold War, and pretty much running with the theme. Military technology is the order of the day, and whoever has the best military technology in World War II was obviously the one that won. And you know, historically, you can argue that that wasn't always the case. We pretty much had to let the Soviet Union implode upon itself.
Which it did.
But military technology was a part of that, because them having to compete and spending so much money on that shit in a communist system where there's no real incentive to work hard and try to move up, because guess what, you can't, because you're in a fucking communist system. Yeah, but
those with money and power.
True. But in this game, in the very beginning, it's a simple go in and get this weapons developer, this guy who's building a pretty much kind of doomsday weapon for the Soviet military.
So what was it called?
Well, we don't know that yet, do we? He does explain it to us within the first half hour.
Okay. So we know the scientist. Do we know his name yet?
Yes, he is Sokolov.
Nikolai Sokolov.
Is it Nikolai?
And he wants to defect to the U.S.
Yes, and he'd already defected. And the really interesting part of this game, kind of weaving itself in with real lore, is the Cuban Missile Crisis just happened. And the thing that the Americans did to get the Soviet Union to back down from that shit and from, a nuclear holocaust was they said, okay, we'll stop with this Cuba shit if you give us Sokolov back. Which is kind of like a no-brainer. It's like, give them the fucking douchebag scientist. But if you think about it, it's like they're giving him the douchebag scientist, but they were willing to stop basically putting a knife at their quote-unquote enemy's throat to get this one fucking guy. So what the fuck is the deal with this? So now they're like, fuck it, yeah, we're reneging, we're coming for him. Fuck you, Soviets. You all suck dicks.
So he actually escaped from Russia with his family, but the only reason he got stopped was because he got recognized in Berlin.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so his family got over, and he kind of did, but he was in Berlin, and then the Cuban Missile Crisis went. Wow, I can't fucking speak. The Cuban Missile Crisis went down, and
yeah, because Kennedy demanded Russia to dismantle its nukes, but Russia refused.
yeah, because they were putting it in Cuba, so that's like all they need to reach fucking the United States from Cuba is a mattress and some determination. Which yes, I did just make a Cuviet. I did just make a Cuban refugee crisis joke. I apologize to any Cubans. You all have
Chico.
You all have a very rich history and a very rich culture, and I respect you. And I don't.
Oh, shut up! Their rum is delicious, by the way.
Yeah, I've
actually had like legit Cuban rum when I was in Japan.
I got some here. You had to go all the way to Japan for that?
Yeah, that was before the embargo got lifted.
Oh, okay, no kidding.
Shit is so good. Drinking it straight from the bottle, bruh.
Yeah, speaking of Cuba, like now that the embargo's lifted, we're getting a lot more Cuban goods over here, and it's just like, oh man, that's so fucking awesome. But what I always thought was really funny, it was like, you know, you live in the United States, and it's like, oh, we've got this embargo against Cuba, and you never really think past that. So then you talk to like Canadian people, and they're like, oh yeah, I went on vacation in Cuba. It was lovely, and it was like, what? And then it's like, oh yeah, we were the only people who were like, no, fuck those guys. You know. So we're getting introduced to some of the main characters in the game. One of them here is Major Tom, as he's going by now. We have Naked Snake, the character we are playing as, and Paramedic Dr. Clark, who all these people are extremely important throughout the entire 60-year history of the game, or of the universe. Some of them more important than others, but every person you meet in this game has some deep significance on the story throughout the rest of the game. So while I'm not going to mention what they do here or why they do it or blah 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 blah, when we get later into some of the other games, when they reference these people and we've forgotten about who the fuck they are, I'm going to bring it back up and I'm going to say, oh yeah, that's that person. Now, speaking of that person, this person here is the boss, World War II legend, technically won World War II for the Allies, wetwork specialist, and in my opinion, the single most important character in the entire game.
Yeah.
She trains this gentleman here by the name of Snake. She trained him. They developed a fighting style together that pervades throughout the rest of the series. And her actions in this game influence the major players of every other game to a ridiculous degree. And it's gonna be very cool as we go further through the games to see the influence that she has on these people play out throughout the rest of the story. And I mean, I'm not gonna say anything else about her here and now, other than that she's a gigantic badass, and also, in my opinion, one of the strongest female characters in gaming. And when I say strong, I'm not talking like she can punch Goku strong. I'm talking like in terms of a portrayal of a female in a video game. Because you've got like this, and you've got Lara Croft. There's no comparison. People are like, oh, Lara Croft is this strong character. You know, if you don't hit the button in the QuickTime event, right, she gets impaled in the fucking face. And it's like, fuck, what? Fuck it.
What? You know what I want to see?
You know what I'm do you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the gruesome death animations in all the new remake Tomb Raider games.
Yep. You know what I want to see, though? I would love to see a game about the boss's life in World War II.
I've been on a lot of forums that discuss that, and the general consensus is people don't even think Kojima could do it right. Because the mythos around her is as big as, or is even bigger than the mythos around Snake here. And there are so many infinitesimally small ways that they could screw up. There are so many ways that they could screw up something like that with this. And I just say, don't fucking touch it. Don't touch it. She's a badass. We know she's a badass. We see that she's a badass in this game. That's all we need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brick Squad. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. All right.
So I mean, she is his mentor.
Jesus Christ, it's still going?
Yes, this is still going. We are at approximately 25 minutes into the video. Actually, let me check here. Yep, 26 minutes into the video. Yeah. Right. So let's talk a little bit about the release schedule, since this episode is the first episode, and it is going to set the stage for the rest of these videos.
Probably should have done that first.
Well, I mean, I think our dialogue has been interesting enough throughout this video that we will, if somebody watches this, they'll get to this point and be like, oh, well, I'm kind of interested. I kind of want to see what's going on. So anyways, so the release schedule. I'm in love with the idea of a Metal Gear Monday.
That's right. The legendary unit
Metal Gear Monday.
Metal Gear Monday. One new episode every Monday until the whole series is finished.
How long are the episodes going to be?
30 minutes, approximately,
Oh, damn.
give or take. Yeah. So while I'm in love with the idea of a Metal Gear Monday, that means that we'll be getting to Metal Gear Solid sometime in, like, 2016, mid-2016. So that may change. And for anybody who is watching this, I would like
one person.
Yeah. Like I said, if one person watches this and gets introduced to the lore and decides it's cool, that's fucking cool. I don't think anybody's gonna watch it because I know my videos suck, so, you know, fuck it. But no, for people who are watching this, if you are interested and you think you will keep watching, please let me know in the comments how you would like this to be released. I'm not going to dump an entire game on there at once so that it can be binged on or anything like that.
I love binging.
I like binging too, however, I like the idea of a release schedule, because then you know, oh hey, it's, you know, Monday. It's Monday, I'm going to watch my episode, and then the next episode's going to come out on Thursday, and then I've got till next Monday to watch it again. So, I mean, this is one of those things, it can all be dumped out there at once, and then you've got 185 videos to watch that, you know, take an entire, you know, month non-stop to watch, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, we could do that, or I could release it so that it's like, hey, well, what kind of new insights do we have now? Blah, 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 blah. And that's the thought anyways. That's my idea. As we try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
CQC!
Which is actually really cool.
Which is actually really cool too, because I've been learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in my spare time.
Very nice.
Which is like all of my time now.
Very nice. All my time is school, and school is fucking rough. Actually, it has required more effort than anything else. Anything I did in the Marine Corps. Hey, look, a snake. Fuck.
Not that. Oh, you're playing now.
Fuck
oh my
snake.
god.
Fucking kick the snake. Are you I can't kick the snake.
Stab it. Kill it.
There we go.
Eat it. Shove it up your butt.
Oh yeah, your legendary knife skills from the previous game. So yeah, here we are. We're in the game now. Hooray! We're finally playing after 29 minutes. But sorry, to get back to my point. I like Metal Gear Monday. However, if you in the comments would like to see it come out more often or less often or whatever, please let me know, because eventually I'm gonna have to fucking decide this shit. And it's as much as I'm making these videos for me, I'm making these videos to help introduce new people to the game. And just to celebrate the game in general. Ah, it's a fucking game. Oh shit! I didn't see it! Oh, it's trying to rape me! Oh god, there's two of them there! Oh shit! Oh, this is a bad time. I'm getting eaten by wildlife already. This has already gotten so fucked up. Oh my god.